AVOWED, épisode 2, let's go. Comment on range l'arme déjà? Pas que ça avec le T. Il semble que ça avec la touche T. C'est ça en vrai. S'entretenir avec Giata. Il y a une quête là. Lieutenant Fidelio. Comme le nom de mon casque en vrai. Fidelio. Légende guerrière, détermination.
I'd like to be. They're out searching. Someone had to hold down the fort. My two youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. Brasilia. Their names are Belena and Adalaro. I doubt they'll be apart. They were good rangers once, but since they've caught each other's eye, all they do is sneak off to...
Apprendre à se connaître, tremper la plume dans l'encrier, avoir des relations, forniquer dans les bois. C'est quoi ces réponses?
I think they know each other very well.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh
La
man.
bête à deux dos. Ah ouais, d'accord.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern.
La bête à
They
deux dos.
always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and
Perception.
Malena's father and I were comrades in arms years ago. When she enlisted, I swore I'd try to keep her safe. That was all. I couldn't even do that.
Réponse
The
1.
last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here.
Two young Nimdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Il y a trop de dialogue en vrai là.
That did not go as I had planned.
Maison de Giata. Ah oui, je me suis arrêté là hier en vrai.
You had to see that. What an
Elle s'est fait bannir de la ville.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. Likewise, they should be educational.
Donc je la prends dans le groupe, je pense. Hein.
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days.
Vous pensez qu'il pourrait y avoir un lien? Comment les gens ne cessent de me le rappeler?
Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Misiverno. Forever. As much as I would love that, we're already out of time. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us.
Ah ouais, c'est moi qui dois tout faire là.
On the undead. Her methods are
Quel enfer.
but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much
Ok.
of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go.
Donc je vais être obligé de cavaler à sa place en vrai.
Imperial envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
Ouais, alors, consulter Monto.
Careful, or we'll get thrown out of the pub. We're already. Really? Ado, welcome. Founded machine.
Monto Pastor.
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a
On a
goblin.
presque les mêmes lunettes.
Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked.
Je pourrais peut-être vous aider à le réparer. Ouais. Même eux, ils vont me faire cavaler comme,
What I need is a stronger power source.
comme un garçon de café, bordel.
We can't make something out of nothing. We're still limited by our resources. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delimgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delimgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delimgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Atragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Récupérer un cœur d'Adragan.
Ado, welcome to my establishment, amigo.
Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe.
Lui, il est équipé comme dans Witcher, lui. Arquebuse. Cette armure de qualité supérieure, celle de votre armure actuelle, les attaques de rang exceptionnel vous infligeront 60% de dégâts en moins.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo.
Incroyable. En vrai, l'environnement, il est vraiment exceptionnel en vrai.
Oh, it's you. Leave me alone, all right? I'm not looking for trouble.
Vos vêtements me disent quelque chose. Étiez-vous avec les rebelles à paradis?
Maybe, maybe not. What's it to you?
Maybe? Maybe? Jamais entendu cet accent en vrai. Maybe.
Don't tell anyone I'm here. That damn fool Leek Wolf with his head full of visions. When he wanted to resort to violence, I knew I had to leave. You did right. If a leader won't listen to reason, they can't be helped. I couldn't be part of that anymore. Maybe I'm brave, maybe I'm stupid. I'll find out eventually. In the meantime, I can sleep at night. Good luck out there. You go your way, I'll go mine.
Donc une petite monture, non? C'est là-bas? Incroyable. Ah ouais, c'est la muertos par ici. Ils sont où mes coéquipiers là? Tenez ça.
I don't understand. If we want it to grow, it dies. If we don't want it to, it thrives.
Oh boy. Hello. I didn't realize you were listening. Interesting to me, at least.
My colleague is an optimist. We have none to speak of.
We're studying these new growths in the edible wildlife.
Un chinois, bordel.
Ideally, we would find essence. That would mean address to play.
But all we've done so far is confirm what everyone can see. The vegetation is afflicted, so what?
Continue à chercher.
We've been saying that every day and nothing ever does.
Come on, Alvaro. The workshop didn't teach us to give up.
I suppose we can give it a week.
We can do better than that. We'll get results.
C'est quoi, des alchimistes? Ah, un meurtre. Un cadavre qui est en train de pourrir. Second cadavre. Balise haut de la route forestière. Quoi en face? Tour impie. Je vois pas de tour, mais bon, c'est ça là? Ah, ils sont mal employés. C'était une arnaque.
That's one for us.
Ouais, c'est la guerre là.
Part of me loves seeing nature reclaim these ruins. Another part thinks nature needs to calm itself.
Donc il est censé être... Ah ouais, c'est là-bas. Sarcophage.
Are those roots tearing the bridge apart or holding it together?
Watch yourselves.
Bleh.
Nice job, everyone. Show me what you got. It's like nature shaping these ruins into something. Like a shrine, but for who?
Welcome, visitor.
Welcome, visitor.
One of your kind has walked in this grove. I mean one from the land, your kind. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want.
Elle est bien modélisée. Hein.
Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart.
Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. But wait. No. No. So many dead. So many of my kin are dead by your hand. The time for words has passed.
Hein? Bagarre?
This one's mine. Here we go.
Another win, but who's counting?
Cœur de dragon. Passer le cœur. Bref, je retourne vraiment là-bas là. Je me TP, non? C'est où placer le cœur là? Chercher la cabane. La méthode. C'est là, je crois. Impossible? Pourquoi?
Maybe we don't go inside the ancient creepy tower. Just a thought?
Gouffre des impies. Ah ouais, ils sont inoffensifs. Hein.
showed up. I was worried you weren't coming. The name's Keeledge. Pleasure to meet you. Hilgard sent me to Emerald Stair to keep an eye on this place. I had orders to make contact as soon as you arrived. I won't talk long. He only wants me to let you know I'm here. If you need to get word to the ambassador, I'm your man. Depends on the day. Hilgard told me to blend in, observe, and contact you. Now, I think I'm just supposed to wait and report back in a few days. I'm worried about drawing attention from Ludwine's crew in the meantime. I think they're up to something. I suppose, but this seems worse than normal. I think the scale of their operation is dangerous. I don't think my superior will be pleased if I just run off. Good idea. I'll think of something. Thanks, Envoy.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. Nature is as stubborn as ever, I see. Fair enough. Here's payment for your troubles. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first. Let's have a look.
Ah ouais, j'étais pas obligé d'aller chercher
I'm going to ask some questions to induce
les 3 points sur la map en vrai.
No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes.
C'était sur l'un des 3 points quoi.
You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that
Let's
comes to
try
mind.
some word.
Pendulum. Chrysalis.
A wheel of uneven spokes. It shatters under its own weight.
Hello? You still with me? Good. We're getting somewhere. Hey, let's go over your results. Your soul has a fascinating internal structure. Perfectly balanced.
Le mec, il peut observer ton âme, quoi.
Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Usually, all it takes is a mirror. Not my area of expertise, I'm afraid. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. The stress of war can leave a mark on the soul, but this is different. Quite different. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my
Fascinating.
But you came for Giata's theory of the dream scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land, diverted, like the flow of a river. Exactly. And if I know essence, it can't have gone too far. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find. I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking about souls. What did I miss?
The essence I'm concerned about.
This again. You're beginning to sound like Giata.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She might be on.
Ah, il y a des livres partout, quoi.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something.
Consultez Elia.
You ever think, what if I wasn't a religion? Yeah, I pretty much brought that plague bear down by myself.
Did you now?
Captain Masoni said,
I really don't think you can deny that everything wrong in Fiora obviously comes from using animancy.
Ouais, c'est stylé, non? On est chez les hobbits ici. Marché des producteurs.
You're the first godlike to come through in, well, I can't remember how long. I hope that's a good sign. I'll take what I can get. If the gods don't bless us with a harvest soon, this market will be empty come winter. What are you talking about? I thought
What are you talking about?
Outsider lies. That's what the governor says.
Strange that what the governor says is so different from what you see with your own eyes.
If you bring no good tidings, I'll thank you to be quick with your business. We've had enough misfortune of late.
Ouais. vend quoi? Ferme côtière.
Just like the good old days. Bam. Bam. Incroyable. You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood. No doubt. That's why I admire the resolve. Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth. You can't mount an attack if you're questioning every detail of the battle plan. But what if you see you're charging into a trap? That's what I admire about Giada. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Sometimes that just makes it easier.
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Like, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giada, but I'm glad to have her on our side. What's on your mind? And troubling. What was it she said? The Steel Garrote will ensure the safety of Adiran interests? They aren't going to make you any friends, that's for sure.
That Adiran spy mentioned a Steel Garrote operation, too.
Yeah, he did. Stay sharp. A storm's brewing. And better if we can find it before it finds us. It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this... Yeah. Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the Living Lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement. Well, there's a thought to keep me up at night.
Oh, the Living Lands definitely hates us. That's why people like me even get work.
I don't like reading that much into things. Maybe that's why I'm still a bachelor.
Is that what it is? That wasn't even on my list.
Either way, when I wake up with night terrors, I'm waking you both up with me. Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be. Oh, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dream Scourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
Not the same way Adirans do. We've got no laws against it. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Don't get me wrong, most animancers are nice enough people. But even nice people get strange ideas from time to time. Shoot. You've heard everything I have to say about our crew. He was my commander and thirdborn, but he was more than that too. A mentor, friend. Tama helped me out when I first came to the Living Lands over a decade ago. I was still figuring myself out.
Was. This is you, having figured yourself out.
Hey, now I know I can't stomach rusk snout milk. As for what we'll find, I don't know any more than you. All I know is it was his most prized possession. And seeing as he was on his deathbed at the time, I wasn't of a mind to ask. Hey, we all go back to the wheel, right? Where to start? The man couldn't carry a tune, but it didn't stop him from trying. He'd have the whole tavern singing shanties with him nearly every night of the week. He had a vexing habit of saying the thing you most needed to hear when you were least ready to hear it. He'd give you the shirt off his back and the meat off his plate. But the selfish bastard left the rest of us a world without him in it. Hey, you're not the one who did the leaving. That's why I've got to put this to rest. You've heard everything I have to say about our crew. I'll tell you what I can. Then I've got answers. Some of them may even be true.
Some of them.
You've heard everything I have to say about our crew. What do you want to know? My favorite? Holler if you need anything else.
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her. I don't know. In my experience,
I don't know.
it's a snake you don't see that bites you. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject. Ask away. I haven't dealt with Delimgon and blights and such all that much. They usually don't bother you unless you step too far off the trail. Of course, that's pretty much a given in your line of work, so we're all doing things we're not used to doing. Still, if you have a choice between upsetting the forest and not doing that, think about it. Maybe consider that the Forest and Emerald Stair are known to hold a grudge. I get a weird feeling when I get close to Lake Lacuna. Like there's something there that shouldn't be. Let's see. Less urgency for shelter here. You can find shrubs to block the wind or tree cover to protect from rain. There's also plenty of food around too, if you know where to look. Rule of thumb, if it's red, don't eat it. Or if it makes you itch. There's also just about any kind of game you can imagine. Just make sure whatever you catch doesn't have mushrooms growing out of its face. Oh, and be careful when you leave the roads. You never know when that deer you killed was some Delimgon's favorite pet. I think there is something big in the southeast of the region. Most hunters say to stay away from there. I think you know almost as... Let's see. Water can be a problem out here. Don't drink from the rivers or creeks you find here. They're full of saka. Literally. You can get good water from inside most plants here, especially the larger vines. Or you can tap most of the trees for sap. I always put out some kind of cloth to collect the dew in the morning. That's assuming Kai doesn't take it and use it as a nose rag. Oh, there's another tip. Make sure the people you're traveling with aren't Nimdudes. Right, changing the subject. Pleasant dreams.
The armored mask. We dream of steel and charred earth and flame. The memory.
Le mec crève tous les jours, quoi.
Flee from her. We fear. For us. For you. Blazing ire. It burns and feeds upon itself.
Burn and burn and burn.
Through the smoke, we recall. You are not safe with her. A false sheep. Light drowning out the shadows lurking within. But the old scars do not lie. We burned once. Burned. We know. A storm from the same spark. All pain cuts with the same blade. Steer clear of the scourging fire, or extinguish it. Cull or tend, the bear's blood nourishes the earth. The flame spreads toward the garden wall. Listen, have care, have care.
Those are no ordinary farm hands.
A godlike in emerald then. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Try and use their names, if you don't mind. It builds their confidence. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
We can smell it too.
Ah ouais, ceux qui invoquent les morts en vrai.
The value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple.
Je pense que le gouvernement, ils aimeraient bien ça. Utiliser les morts vivants comme main d'œuvre.
What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask. Is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He's a bigger fool than I thought. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo.
Laissez-moi deviner, Silvo n'est pas une vache ou une chèvre. D'accord.
Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put a poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead.
Oh.
That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come.
Je vais m'occuper de Silvo.
Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a Revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that? And this is why I don't take pets.
Ah ouais, elle a une armée de morts vivants qui travaillent gratuitement, quoi. Éliminer Silvo, le revenant. Bah, mais il est où? Fermé.
Everyone okay?
I saw you reach into Beatrice. Find anything interesting? Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. No, thank you. The corpses, they need me. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel. I really have been sleeping entirely too well lately.
I'm remembering why people find this place unsettling.
The great mystery is, are godlike blessed or cursed? The gods are silent on this question.
Neither. They just are. Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
I suppose we owe her a favor. Or two.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go around the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? No need to take offense. We merely seek to learn.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The good news or the bad
The
news?
Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Well, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments
The
with
good
metal
news or the bad news?
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Ah, of course. The idea is a bit high-minded. Adra acts like a pathway for souls as they rejoin the wheel.
And the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, is it not?
So, just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Oh, well.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed? This place could use a broom or two.
Allez voir Giada. Giada. Ta. 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 Ta.
Envoy, look left. Take your best shot.
That's all of them.
That's all, that's all. Giada. Giada.
Something the matter? I hope none of my colleagues scared you off. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Well, that's where I need your help. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since.
The problem is it's in the basement.
They died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there.
Okay.
The basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
Récupérer le focalisateur fantasmatique.
That's where her parents died. I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement of an Animax where I just went. Right, feels great.
Oh, il y a des lettres partout là.
Ado, welcome to the fine establishment, amigo.
Où chez elle là? Je sorte d'ici en vrai.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo. Yeah.
Je par là. Hein. Oh, c'est dedans. Bon, aveugleman. Donc c'est sur place. Ouais, ça peut être que là en vrai. Là, en dessous, il y a peut-être un sous-sol.
Alright, explain it to me again.
Imagine a river of essence. It feeds on
Imagine a river of essence.
our experiments. So where is the source of the river? What have we really?
I shouldn't be sober for this kind of fun.
What do you think of Giatta's theory?
Well, my experiments have been a little so
Unpredictable. Like,
Yeah.
essence has no sense of direction.
how did you know?
We should talk, but not here.
Il y a un mur là. Je peux pas escalader ça?
Spirits are truly wonderful, powerful, self-aware, and reach with insight.
Insight, you say?
Indeed. The spirits have access to lifetimes of knowledge.
If you are looking for sanctuary, you have found it. The Gifted Magpie is a house of calm, rational discussion. We have only 2 rules of conduct. Maintain dignity and speak in a soft tone of voice. Indeed, there is a reason I prefer to keep the doors closed. Animancers are miracle workers, but their work breeds obsession, rivalry, and bitter disagreement. Their anxiety keeps me in business. This tea house is where troubled minds come to approach problems from a quieter angle. Regrettably, we are out of tea. My stockpile is exhausted.
Regrettably.
Has not kept up with demand. We have other goods for sale, if you care to peruse them. Trinkets I have collected over the years.
I have been thinking about you.
En dessous. Peut-être un sous-sol chez elle. Hein. Ah ouais, aveugleman.
Something's not right here. Stay ready.
Haven from the blight. Who grows here?
I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be gods.
Localiseur fantasmatique.
Right? Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
Everyone know head.
Parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
Or something like that.
Gods, I can't believe this.
Il n'y a pas moyen d'augmenter la luminosité là. Ah, c'est mieux là déjà, non?
You're back. You found it. You actually... Did you see? I didn't have the words. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory.
Unhappy memory.
Keeps on growing. And it destroyed her. My father. Our family.
People are too quick to risk everything for an ideal. I'm sorry it didn't work out for your family.
So I swore an oath. No one could enter the lab until I understood what happened. I'm on the right track to figuring it out, which is almost as good. Enough about me. Let's worry about you for a change. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar, and I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety.
Ah, finally, some time to rest my feet.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off.
Ah ouais, c'est loin là.
I was worried for a second. The land itself is rich with essence.
The land isn't rich with essence.
We've got company.
Something's not right. Watch yourself.
They're coming.
I think I sprained my shoulder.
Capacité de rôdeur.
The cartographer must be around here somewhere.
Hey! You there! Need some supplies? Salutations, traveler. Welcome to lovely Naku Tadek. It's seen better times, but it's still a marvel of ancient architecture. Oh, but I forget myself. I'm Alyssa, a wanderer and explorer, and sometimes even a merchant. Like now. Care to see my wares?
We usually bring our dead to Naku
This is a
Tadek.
spiritual
But for you,
haven.
I'll make an exception.
Could we remove the animancy equipment, please? Take it up with the governor. But he told me to ask you.
Have you spoken to Alfonso? He seems in a low spirits.
Thank you again for letting me join you. An animancer never misses an opportunity to embrace the unknown. Still, being an animancer feels so different without Fior Mesiverno. For the first time, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. It'll take some getting used to, that's for sure. At least now I have a place I can call my own. Believe me, that's plenty. Not to change the topic, but this little adventure of ours, will it be dangerous? A little bit of trouble in moderation can be good for the soul. My mother and father taught me how to defend myself, among other things. When you need me, I'll be ready. I hope so anyway. You know me, always ready with an answer.
No way.
Ah, you want a story? Very well. Settle in. It all started about 50 years ago, in the great city of Spirento. A young nobleman by the name of Maxim Vidaro sought to inherit a distinguished government position. Unfortunately, yes. A distant cousin cheated Maxim out of the title. He was devastated, his political future uncertain. No one lifted a finger to help. Not the banks, not the merchants, or the politicians. So, Maxim did what Valians do best. Something like that. Maxim plotted his revenge. To Scan, the effigy, god of rebellion and defiance, to ask for a blessing. And Scan answered. Take their best and brightest, their heirs, their scholars, their futures, to the far side of the world, never to return. And Maxim did just that.
Just
he gathered
that.
a following and left the Valian republics, giving thanks to his dark god. We prefer to call it an intellectual haven of free thinkers, but it's true that most of us are animancers. Spirento was full of animancers, many of them in debt, and Maxim was a wealthy patron. They needed each other. So the animancers followed Maxim all the way out here, including my parents, Quilici, and others around town. At the time, this place was an animancer's dream. No oversight, limited government, and soil rich with essence. 40 years later, Maxim vanished. They
40 years later.
Collect his soul. Nonsense, of course. His son has been in charge ever since. For better or worse. I have good reason to be critical, but I also know his life isn't as easy as it looks. He and I might squabble in public from time to time, but we're both just figuring it all out as we go. Thanks for listening. We should do this again.
I love a good ghost story. Just not the dreams I have afterwards.
Hadn't heard all that before. Probably a lesson or two in there.
One of these days you'll have to tell me an Adiran ghost story. You learn a lot about people by what scares them. Let me think. Quilici has a girlfriend, as cute as a button, and as smart as an archmage. That isn't a secret, I'm just happy for him. No one has seen Estelle Vidaro in some time, and Ignacy refuses to talk about it. She was always very kind to me. I hope she's all right. Have you heard of the incident at Beldereno Pass? 20 settlers lost their lives in a winter storm. Ever since, people have heard ghostly cries from a nearby cave. Though lately, the cave has gone quiet. I hope their souls are at rest. Sorry to disappoint you, but I haven't heard anything new of late. Being an outcast means being out of the loop. What are you so curious about? Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions. Kai is a useful fellow. We need people like him to keep you grounded. Just not too grounded. On the surface, Kai is all charm and confidence. You feel good knowing he's around. But there's something deeper. Something in his core that he guards from everyone. Maybe even himself. Oh, not at all. Kai is a sweetheart. And if that's who he chooses to show us, then that's who he is. If there's another side to him, he'll show us when he's good and ready. No need to rush a natural process. Marius is working through something. An old wound that hasn't healed. A search for forgiveness? Who knows? He's a tough fellow, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. Good question. Mental and emotional pressure, specifically. Marius could hunt the great western stag if he set his mind to it, but his own feelings elude him. When he wants to find himself, give him room to do so, but don't push him. Just be there to catch him. We haven't been together long, but I think I have you figured out. In Paradise, you handed your killer to the steel garrote. Much like tossing meat to a pack of wolves. Fior Messiverno tolerates you well enough. No doubt thanks to my influence. Of course, all I know is what you've done. You may not think these choices reflect who you are. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. All that matters is how you see yourself. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. I suppose you deserve to know, after what I put you through. My mother wanted to expand Fior's agriculture. Feeding Emerald Stair wasn't ambitious enough. She wanted to feed the world. She thought she could break the wilderness, using animancy as the whip. Turn the living lands into a garden. Anything's possible, but there are significant
Anything's possible.
After my father put the finishing touches on the phantasmal focus, she was impatient to get started. After all, whoever controls the spirit of the living lands has nature in the palm of their hand. My father thought so too. Emerald Stair was just the beginning to her. My father thought she was brilliant. Others thought she was mad. I think she was a victim of her own ambition. She wanted so much and there was so little time to achieve it. Theoretically, her plan should have worked. But the living lands had other ideas. When she used the phantasmal focus, theory collided with reality. Everything went wrong. I can't rule anything out, but I suspect the Dream Scourge had something to do with it. It lives in the essence of the living lands, corrupting whatever it touches. And if I'm right, that means it's been here a long time, or the forces behind it. No. To my knowledge, the accident was no everyday occurrence. But neither was the experiment. My mother transgressed on nature, on existence itself. Still, I don't understand what went wrong. When I do, then I can finish her work. I was 17. That makes it... Gods, has it been 13 years already? After they died, I wouldn't go near a lab. It was ages before Quilici got me to crack open a book. I have a lot of catching up to do in my studies. Need to make up for lost time. My mother and father didn't know the risks, and I can't stop thinking about them. Caution and experience will stop us from repeating their mistakes. That's all I care to say for now. At least, about this topic. I thought my family's research could help Emerald Stair. That it could banish the Dream Scourge from our lands. Of course, Vidaro wouldn't even give me a chance. He was afraid of history repeating itself. Still, I'm hopeful. This legacy of mine could change Animancy as we know it. And something tells me I'm close to a breakthrough. Closer than my mother ever got. Good question. The idea of finishing my parents' work gives me a warm feeling. But do I want it? I know I've got one lifetime, and I want to do something with it. I'm glad you think so. Not that I need your approval, but I like knowing that I have it. This is the one life where I am Giada Castel, Animancer extraordinaire. In the next life,
Les dialogues des persos, ils sont trop longs.
I have an obligation to use the time I have. No Animancer has engineered an ecosystem before. Maybe, with a little luck, I could be the first. That little island off of Dawnshore? None that I know of. Ignato Castle led the Valiant trading company in the Deadfire archipelago. Among other things, he invested in the future of animancy, and apparently he had interests here. I hope not. I wouldn't want my family associated with speculation, corruption, and whatever else happened in the Deadfire. We have enough problems already. He had some ideas about moving great distances in the blink of an eye. As far as I know, he was unsuccessful. Animancy and ambition are a dangerous mixture. Intoxicating, but dangerous. Afraid not. I've heard a lot of contradictory stories coming out of the Deadfire in recent years. Some say Castle is still in power, while others think his second-in-command took over the Valiant trading company. You know how it is. Wherever there's conflict, there's bound to be misinformation. Unfortunately, that's all I know. Whether or not Castle succeeded, I don't think it's folly to dream. Now that you mention it, I did try and awaken my soul to become fully aware of my past lives. Every animancer tries and fails. It's practically a rite of passage. So, one evening, I crept into the workshop and cobbled an invention together from spare parts. Amateur work. Then I turned it on. Big mistake. The next thing I knew, it was morning. I was floating in the fountain, and my head was pounding like a drum.
You don't need animancy for that. Just rum and a crew on shore leave.
That answers a lot of questions, honestly.
Sometimes I wonder, what if it actually worked? What if all of this happened before, and I'm just reliving the events of a past life? I try not to think about it too much.
Bleh.
A simple question with a very complicated answer. The device is attuned to the spiritual energy of the living lands, much like a compass to magnetic north. But essence is chaotic by nature. As you saw with your own eyes, imposing order on chaos is not without risk. Indeed. Don't get me wrong, this invention is a small miracle, but it isn't enough. The phantasmal focus was supposed to be the start of something grand. One lever of a device that exists only in theory. Perhaps it should remain that way. Anything in particular? Let me think. Sorry to disappoint you, but I haven't heard anything new of late. Being an outcast means being out of the loop. What do you want to know? You too. I hope no one minds. I made myself at home.
Je pense que j'ai fait tous les dialogues là.
It's good to have you. Tell us a bit about yourself, Giada.
Let's see. A few things about me.
Non, j'ai pas fait tous les
I
dialogues.
enjoy long conversations, and my favorite season is between the... Maybe it's when you consider how many Orlans and dwarves there are. It's outrageous. She's very... Don't let her... One of the... And... Go on, then. What are you... I've spilled... I'll tell you... Not before I've done some reading.
Envoy? Hard to admit. I mean, she'll need... Right. Right. Go ahead. Giada's most... She's... So... Oh, good. Because it's not so... I think there was a period of 3 days when I was in training. When I was a child, late, we'd make turn. Right. Anyway, what do you need? Until next time.
I wish you could have seen Emerald Stair in better times.
What was it like? I've only passed it before.
Choisissez 2 compagnons pour vous accompagner dans vos aventures.
Did they not glow in the light? Her parents, her sentinels. To grow and flourish still, life without rot, form without death. The lake dries. Prune the bellflowers. Why should anything wilt? Endless spring. They breathe. They flower. They will never fade. Apple into seed. We think not. They have blossomed now. They sing in peace. Was it not worth the change? Life. Germinate this. They are strong now, vibrant, better than their frail shells. More than alive. No suffering, no end. Sleep now. Dream of beauty and new life. We will speak soon.
One of your machines shocked me. I wasn't even...
There should be some equipment by the Adra pillar.
We remember these walls. Yes,
I failed you,
we
my
have
lord.
been here.
Please, my friend. You can take what you want from the shrine. Just don't break anything. So he was working alone. Forgive me. These are difficult times for a man of faith. While I was at prayer, a bandit held a knife to my throat and stole the reliquary of Saint Widewin. Just look at me. Gods, I'm still shaking. He fled west into the wilderness. There's nothing there but a Delimgan glade. If you find him, please, no more bloodshed. Vengeance will not make this right.
Find him. If you find him.
Shine on you. May it shine on the thief as well. I will try to understand his
J'ai l'impression que les assets des PNJ quand même, c'est un peu partout les mêmes.
People who mean no malice generally don't go.
I pray you come to no harm.
Well, here we are on the precipice of discovery. Armed and ready for mischief.
Gods! Warn somebody next time.
Before we get started, indulge me. What are you excited to learn about? Good. We're on the same page. Now, I'm going to tap into the pillar's dormant energy and give it a good shake. In layman's terms, I'm chumming the water and daring the Dream Scourge to show its ugly face. This is no time for hesitation. All right. Drawing on the energy of the phantasmal focus, I'll start with a low-frequency ethereal vibration. I've got nothing. You?
Anxiety? Annoyance? Maybe a little bit of, burnt hair smell?
Shit. All right, adjusting the frequency. The focus is warming up. I hope that's a good sign. Let me know if you feel something. Who knows how your godlike nature will react to this. Brace yourself. We're going to pin this bastard down.
Maybe we shouldn't try again with the unreliable soul-powered device.
Don't worry, I'm a professional. Now, there goes nothing.
Souls in a circle, a whirlpool. We twine.
Hey, I think I got something. The focus twitched, like a fishing rod. Is that a door? Not the result I was looking for, but a result nonetheless. Don't be so sure about that. Remember, I'm an animancer, not a locksmith. Right before the door opened, I detected something in the Adra. I was right. The Dream Scourge has a point of origin. We can study the affliction from here, but I don't know that we can stop it. My thoughts exactly. If we want to stop the Dream Scourge, we still need to learn more about the source of the affliction. I hate to say it, but we'll get better results at the base of the pillar, where the energies are more potent. Naturally. After you.
You were determined to get us all killed, aren't you?
Gods! Did you open that door?
I did not bring us here to explore, but clearly something wants to be found.
I have this feeling we're not supposed to be here.
I wonder, did you open the door? Or did the door open for you? Incredible. These ruins are untouched. We are the first to disturb them. When was the last time anyone walked these passages? It must have been centuries. Oh. That'll show him.
Les générateurs sont des appareils mécaniques qui peuvent être activés avec des dégâts électriques.
No, knife pierces in the dark.
Whatever this is, at least it's dead. 2 points for the godless, none for the abominations. Not feeling good.
Well, that was fun.
Beautiful. Life into death. To think it survived all these years.
If you ask me, looks like it's from the ancient Heidraku period.
I've seen godless architecture before. I've never seen godless art until now. Just imagine how much has been lost. We should keep moving. I don't mean to slow us down. I would not go swimming if I were you, unless you wish to meet your maker. There must be a way across. If not underwater, perhaps over it. I can help with some ice. Just a little fun. Cool power goes a long way. What in the name of Aora is that?
Arme unique.
Do not want to meet whatever killed
Sommeil du géant.
killed that.
We're going to die down here, aren't we? I'm still wondering about that door and why it opened for you.
Those Zarbs boiling? That's
How did they even get down there? The things must have their own secret entrance. I'll say it. I'm impressed. If there are any monsters left, show yourselves. Some of us have work to do. I guess that means the coast is clear.
Pion.
Come, hear us through the Adra.
We've backed the Dream Scourge into a corner. I say we pin it down here and now, before it wriggles away from us.
Ah oui, on rentre dans le mal-rêve carrément.
The last time we tried this, you felt something, yes? Maybe it had to do with your godlike nature. Try making contact with the Adra this time. It could only help. The effect should be stronger than before. Brace yourself.
You are here. You who bring us kind words and soothing thoughts. We welcome you. The mourners are gone now. Only the memories remain. We once belonged to the green and the wild. A people lived there once. They loved us as we loved them. They brought their dead to us. We used to dip our fingers, wade in the confluence of souls. We felt the thrill of their wonder. We basked in their desire to know us. They brought their prayers to us. We answered. We do not remember how we grew. Our eyes opened. We were the earth, the sky, many into a whole. We touched the mountains and they molded to our fingerprints. The Akita twined around us. They sang in awe of what we made. They called us the gardener, steward of life. Sabado. Our spark found you when you dreamed in the womb. Godlike, they said. But we have felt in you the seed of connection. We have sought you, called to you. And you reached back We have not known the joy of companionship in so long. The rot, we feel it too. Our hands are bound. Find us, free us. The rot that festers
Free us.
to us as well. Our cage is far from here, buried in the garden, beyond the poison sea. Your words are comfort indeed. Go to the halls of the Tabaru Sinakis. We will try to explain. Those who cherish us, the chosen of the Akida, wait there. They will show you the way to the
Ah, elle est emprisonnée en vrai.
to our prison. We will cleanse this rot with you once our hands are unbound. Find us in the garden. We twine, we await. First, let us offer you a sliver of our power, a boon to help you survive and find us. Will you accept it? Take it with our blessing. Now hurry to the halls of the Tabaru Sinakis.
Pouvoir de Spadal.
Free us.
Incroyable. Oh, c'est comme s'il avait 2 grammes dans chaque veine là.
You're awake. Finally. We really pushed the phantasmal focus to its limits.
Oh, you're back. I made sure she didn't touch anything important.
For a second there, I thought... Actually, never mind what I thought. Something like that. While you were out, I got some clear readings of the Dream Scourge. I've tracked its origin to the center of the living lands. Somewhere deep in the untouched wilderness.
Right. The garden.
The garden.
Doesn't sound like something I'd want to mess with.
If we find the garden, we can cut off the Dream Scourge at its source. I hesitate to bring it up, but you were muttering while you were out. Had quite a lot to say. Whatever you were communing with, it had a spiritual energy I've encountered before, though only in traces. It must be connected to the Dream Scourge. Perhaps they share a similar origin. Yes, Sapadal. Who are they? What are they to you? I'm sorry? Sapadal is a god? But that's impossible. How could we have missed this? You never heard them before? Not even in your childhood? Only when you arrived on these shores? A trapped god. Trapped. And you spoke to them through the Adra. Maybe that tells us something. Not the Adra itself, but how it comes together. We've long theorized that all Adra is connected, but that changed when Animancers came to the Living Lands. The Adra here is severed from the rest of Eora, connected only to itself, or so we believe. If Sapadal speaks and works through Adra, then the Living Lands is their prison, their tomb. Now that is a tall order. We know the Dream Scourge is coming from this garden of yours. Maybe Sapadal can help us fight it. A little divine intervention couldn't hurt. The real question is, where do I start? Doesn't ring a bell, but maybe someone's heard of it before. We'll find the source of the Dream Scourge in the garden, but we have to find the garden first.
This god like Sokka's out of my depth. Call me when you need to clean a rabbit.
Let's return to Fior Messiverno. Banished or not, maybe I can squeeze a few answers out of my colleagues. Gods, I don't know. The farms, the community, my research, they all depend on animancy. But the Dream Scourge is the end of animancy, the end of the living lands as we know it. We should leave this place and its memories. There's nothing more for us here.
Wasn't much here for me to begin with.
Stop! The trees splinter, the rice turns black. The pain! The pain! They trample the farmlands, they tear down the gates.
I lost you for a second there. Something the matter? Oh no. Let's go. You take the lead.
We found a way out while you were sleeping. Looks like a shortcut to the surface.
There is such a thing as learning too much. The mortal mind can only take... Oh my god. No!
Fuitu Mayu. What happened here?
What happened? Who did this? It's all gone. The city. My home. Damn it. We have to check on the others. At least let me find Quilici. Any survivors would have evacuated to the farms north of town. Come. There's not a moment to waste.
I'm sure someone made it. They can't have killed everyone.
Vince Paddle.
believe this. What you smell is the workshop going up in flames. Our books, our chemicals, our machines.
Combien de ce TP là? Possible.
Many of those inventions were originals from the Valian republics. One of a kind, irreplaceable. I don't know why I'm dwelling on that. We lost more than our work.
It's not fair, is it? Not fair.
They burn. They blind us.
I hope everyone is all right. Animancers know how to plan for an emergency, but we've never seen one like this. If anything happened to Kulichi, I don't know what I'd do.
I'm sure he's fine. He seemed like a survivor.
Again and again they strike.
Ah ouais, la citadelle est en feu là.
Nice work.
There's the city. What's left of it. Gods, who could do this to us? Who could burn us out like rats and call it a victory? Motherfuckers. I don't know how we recover. Our past is in those flames. Our history. Everything we are. Look, they made it out. Oh, thank the gods. Thank the gods. I needed that. I needed to see them so badly. It felt like I couldn't breathe.
Breathe into a sack of some kind if that happens again. Works like a charm.
Rabbits in a burrow, hunted.
These people are looking for leadership. A sense of
What a
direction.
fine mess the Adirans
We should
have
find
made for
Kulichi.
us. Envoy? Oh, thank goodness. For a moment there, I thought we'd lost you in the attack. As if you don't already know. Inasi, calm yourself. Why should I be calm? His people burned my city. The Steel Garrote are hardly his people. They offered us no negotiation, no peaceful terms. Just flames and laughter as we ran. Don't be naive. Anyone who serves under an Adiran banner is complicit. Your Inquisitor is determined to burn out anyone who doesn't conform to Adiran ways. We agree on one thing. The Steel Garrote have declared war on the Living Lands. That sort of thinking is precisely why my father fled the Valian republics. What happened here is no coincidence.
Their forces already have an unshakable grip on Paradis. This attack was meant to weaken us. No doubt they will circle back to finish what they started. Tell us, what of your research into the Dream Scourge? Assuming our governor wants to hear it.
I may have spoken in haste before.
Pardon?
The very notion that the Dream Scourge had blighted our farms, it was too awful to acknowledge.
Are you being serious right now?
I am. The sanctuary my family built was falling apart on my watch. And I wasn't strong enough to bear it. You must understand. My mother had the Dream Scourge. I hoped against reason that she might recover, but her mind grew as blighted as our lands. To face reality would mean upending my city, throwing order into chaos, and admitting she was truly gone. I'm so sorry, Giata.
Don't waste your apologies on me. This changes nothing between us.
I don't expect your forgiveness, but I will do everything in my power to make this right. Whatever you have to say, I'm ready to hear it.
You want me to do the talking? Very well. The evidence is clear. The Living Lands is on the edge of an ecological disaster, both physically and spiritually. We may know the origin of the Dream Scourge. By following it back to the source, perhaps we can reverse the damage. Now for the bad news. An undiscovered god rests in the heart of this island. Until we know more about its nature, we are powerless to stop it.
But this is madness. When I said I was ready for the truth, I didn't mean... Quilici, tell him it's madness.
Envoy, is it true?
There's no other explanation for the spiritual shift in the Living Lands. Something that slept. I believe there is still more to learn, but a disturbance on this scale could explain the changes to our ecosystem.
First the Dream Scourge, then the Steel Garrote, and now, what does this god of yours want us to do? Pray?
This is no time for a theological discussion. Our survival hangs on a knife's edge. We can't remain in Emerald Stair.
There is no reason to stay, unless you count picking through the ashes. We should relocate to Thirdborn. It's the only settlement that can take us all.
No. I say we go to Paradis.
What has gotten into you?
As long as we are Animancers, the Adherents will pursue us to the ends of the earth. Instead, we lay low, hide in plain sight, let them believe we're beaten, and bide our time.
While we hide, the Dream Scourge will tear this island apart. At least in Thirdborn, we can practice animancy freely. We can't gamble with our existence. The political climate of the Living Lands is too dangerous. We'll be proud to lend our strength to theirs, as Animancers and as fellow expatriates.
Not the place I'd send them, but... right. Best of luck.
I have my misgivings, but you helped my father leave the Republics. I trust you to help us again. What of you, Envoy? Where does the hunt for the Dream Scourge take you next?
Oh, I do.
Yardsley? Don't tell me you are getting swept up in all of this.
Oh, really? You should know better, darling. Any talk of the Akita, and I will appear. If you're looking for the garden, I can probably lead the way. You're already aware that I'm the foremost Akitan scholar in the Living Lands, and...
Godless scholar, my dear. No one outside of academia uses their proper name.
Ah, right. Layman's terms. Thank you, darling. Well, to make a long story short, I think I can lead you to the garden. 30 years of research, and I think the answer lies in a ruin called Naku Kubel,
Gods, here we go.
which is in Shatterscarp. So we've got to get there now. Before Fjord went up in flames, that Garrote monster took my research. Your kin are on their way to the garden now. Wait. If they know as much as we do, they know to go to Shatterscarp too. Oh no. I've got to warn Temerity. Meet me in Thirdborn, all right? You can't miss it. It's the only bit of civilization in Shatterscarp, if you can call it that. I'll finish getting ready here and just meet you there.
Ugh, what a whirlwind. God, I love that tiny woman. I would be surprised if your journey were that uncomplicated, but stranger things have happened.
For what it's worth, I vouch for Yatsley. She's a good friend and a bad influence. Right now, we could use both.
There's a gate to the north, which will take you to Shatterscarp. It's guarded by some of our best rangers.
The best rangers that are left, you mean? Who sunded Steel Garrote?
I'll make sure they grant you safe passage. May the gods protect you, envoy.
Exploring the living lands with a friend. What more could I ask for?
Seems like a light.
It's you. The godlike. The Rangers told me you help people in dire straits. I thought they were lying. But here you are. All of us. What was Fjord to you? What have you lost today? Forgive me, please. I forget myself. Yes. I know everyone here is. But they cannot begin to grasp what my family has been through. I'll be straight with you. The Steel Garrote captain stole something precious from me. It wasn't enough to burn our city. Now they have to loot us too. She'll let you close. You can take her prize back. But you will have to kill her first. Then I don't have to explain. Vidaro won't get his hands dirty. I need someone who will. My young nephew stood up to the Steel Garrote before they attacked. The captain gutted him and looted his ring. An heirloom with our family crest. It won't debase me any further either. I have nothing to lose. I want that commander to die as painfully as he did. You'll find her at the Eastern Watchtower. It is not far from here. I warn you though, her troops will probably still be with her. Bring back the ring, and I'll pay you. I can't think about her wearing her emblem. It makes me ill. I should go now. My sister will need help preparing my nephew's body. We'll both be praying for you. Damn the demons! Damn the Steel Garrote! Spit on their graves! How can our family go on? Murderers. Every one of them.
You heard Vidaro. The settlement is done for.
This settlement is our home. I can't believe you're ready to abandon it.
Fiona Siberno visitor.
I'm sorry. I just need a moment.
They say
It's all
Gianta's working
ashes.
with the godlike now.
Indeed. A most curious development.
Can you believe
Even
it?
been to the Castel family lab.
Talk about skeletons.
From the depths of my... Perfetto.
Allez.